I'm so sorry. My apologies. It's auction day, and we've just got a horse, okay? So it's been a bit chaotic, and that's why we're late. Yes, Jane, there is mail call today. It's just I'm not very on the ball. It was getting a bit tense there, and the problem is when you're watching the auction, because obviously we're not at the auction and we're proxy bidding, is when you're watching the auction and the horse that you've been looking at just comes through at 5 o'clock. You're like, stuff it. This is awful, Annie. I've got a whole squad here with me. And what I'm going to try and do is I am going to try and find this on my iPad. I'll have to come out of where I was watching and go into what we're looking at here. So totally and utterly disorganised. I know there's nothing new in that at all. Anyway, shape or form. Oh my golly gosh. Look at the state of me. We got 3 donkeys. They will come up to us when we go down. Well, they're not coming up to us. We're picking them up. So what will happen with the donkeys and the horse is they will go into a holding pattern, and they will start quarantining in Pennsylvania. And then when we go down to pick up the cow, we will return via Pennsylvania, and we'll pick up the horse, the 3 donkeys. The 3 donkeys we have, they're all jacks at the moment, which means they have testicles, and we all know if it has tires or testicles, it's going to be problematic. So what will happen with those donkeys is we will have them gelded in Pennsylvania. They have downtime. We'll have them gelded immediately. They will have downtime, which means that they will be fit to travel by the time we go and pick up the cow. So that's how we're going to work this. And I am still trying to work this out. And they're painted donkeys. They're like Jasper. So they're grey and white. Right, enough dogs. Sorry, my dogs are wrestling, because that's what they do. And my Ella Bella. There's Bella Boo. Bella. Bell. You there? You're my big Ella Bella. Here's a good girl. I know. Right, Arlo, stop it. So, I'm still trying to find out how to do this blinking. So we think, hold on, I'm trying to get... Could you just go wrestle outside? Go! Oh, honestly, I have got such a load of idiots sitting here. Right, I'm trying to find this and operate this by myself, and I should never be left with a computer. It's disastrous. Oh my gosh, I don't want that. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to work this out. Here, this must be Goldie's. My iPad doesn't want to work at the same time as my go away, Noodles. Oh, look, here's Noodles. Noodles. Hello, Doodles. We've got everybody here. We've got the whole gang and the whole crazy crew. Right. Questions. Why can't I get this? Oh, golly. I'm going to have to try and read the questions as we're going along. So, yeah, we managed to get, this is a New Year's Day sale down in Lebanon in Pennsylvania. And these donkeys have come from a person that we have seen before. And what she technically does is she goes around all month in between the auctions, and she picks up donkeys, and then she takes them all to auction. That's what we did. I did not see the mini that Penny got. I don't know what mini that was. We did start looking at the horses, but we don't want mini horses. We've got 3 at the moment, and that's more than enough because they're slightly naughty. Noodles, if you're coming up, come up. And so that's it. That's the excitement for today, I can tell you. It was a bit unexpected. And obviously, I slept through New Year. I think that's the best way to do it, really, actually, quite frankly. And I think that there was some confusion, probably because I went to sleep. There was some confusion over the entry to the laundry building, and the entry to the laundry building was fine if it hadn't been lost in discussion between Nick and myself. I was given the key to the laundry. We came back, Nick and I came back from Meredith doing evening chores, and I had the key in my pocket, and I said to Nick, I was carrying something, I said to Nick, will you take the key out of my pocket and will you give it to Janine? Fugan, Janine has just finished bidding on the horses. We were in between, she's in the cabin, I'm in the house, and we were on the phone. Technology, because the TVs aren't working, because they're all, well, we don't watch TV, but there's two TVs in the cabin and neither of them are connected because one's been moved down to the ICU building and the other one is going down to the laundry. So we're all betwixt and between at this precise moment in time. So what was I telling you? So last night, I was carrying something, and I said to Nick, if you take the key out of my pocket and if you give it to Janine, that's the key for the laundry building. So he took the key. I think it was lost in translation and didn't connect the key with the fact that it was actually for the laundry building. Don't ask me how that happened, but I'd obviously gone to sleep, so I was oblivious. So we do have the key to the laundry building and we've got access, etc. And yes, I'm sure later on Janine and I would take you around and show it. I was going to do this today with Janine, but we got all just mixed up. We're still running the barns, both Meredith and here, and Janine was in with Caroline today, who's doing very well. She's churning out monkey fists, which is just what we need. We've all been running around, and I think what we've noticed is that all of a sudden the adrenaline has left the building. So the problem we have is we're all going, we're absolutely exhausted. We've still got the same amount of work, and we're in a sort of like a massive planning stage, and trying to work it out and go forward. I think it might be best. Tomorrow is going to be dry, and it might be best if we took a little wander around the farm tomorrow. It was just really dank today, I think is the only word that you could describe it. It was either quite heavy rain or it was that nasty drizzly rain that was still soaking wet. So we've had super fun in and out of rain showers. The whole farm is what we expected to come back, which is absolutely super. There's work to be done, but we knew that there was going to be work to be done, and we're happy to do it. The laundry building is going to take a while. There's people coming in on, let me get this right in my head, because obviously today I wasn't sure which day it was. I think there's people coming in on Friday to get started on there. There's other people coming in over the weekend because we do not have secure fencing on either, I think, Puppy Hill or the flat field. And so for us to be able to move certain animals over in that direction, we have a bit of an issue because the fencing's not secure. And you know what happens when the fencing's not secure. So that will happen over the weekend. That will give us a big boost in the right direction. We have plans to try and, obviously, there's a big difference between animals that eat a vegetarian diet and animals that eat a meat-based diet. Thank you, Noodles. Yeah, and I know you eat a meat-based diet. Are you like super starving? He's like, yeah, look, this is my baby. It's actually Nick's baby, but hey, I know. You're so lovely. You're so lovely. You're just the bestest boy. Yes, you are. This is the most affectionate, blinking puppy. Puppy, 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 puppy going, aren't you? Oh, we do love you. And he gets cuddled all the time. Yes. Look at that handsome boy. Are you my handsome boy? Yes, you are. He's like, I'm the most handsome boy. Most handsome. most handsome. I think Nick takes pictures of him all the time, so I think he put a nice picture up on the website, because he's the best boy. Oh, he's tired. Oh, I know, it's been a hard day, darling. Hard day. So, we've got lots of things to get on with, and one of the things I was trying to explain was that, you know, there's a very different smell in a farm animal barn than there is in a dog kennel. So we have to I think probably we're very used to animal barns, and it doesn't inflame your senses in the same way. And then when you come into a dog barn, it's just a different smell. But it's obviously on a surface that we're going to have to attempt to deep clean. So I think we're going to be putting Angry Orange down, which we're told will make a tremendous amount of difference to our situation. I fully expect it to take us a period of time, but you know, we'll get there. It's just a process, and we've been going through this process in our minds, and now we're into it in reality. So it's all very exciting, and just lots to do. But there's always lots to do. So we've got lots to do on top of our regular lots to do. Carlene is quite frankly, and I think probably very fortunate in that she's sitting in a beautifully climate controlled area. She's going out and joining others in the dining room for breakfast, lunch and dinner. She's working through her exercise regime, keeping up with her monkey fists and watching what's going on in the cameras. So that's good. We are... Oh, what else? We've got other things. Wallace is coming down. He's this horse that we're bringing in, he's going to be training, so we better get these blinking cameras up so you can see him and the work that he'll put into the horse in the arena. The arena is really quite smelly, but that's to be expected, and it's what happens when you've got animals, you know, and it's run as an animal place. I think that with regard to that, we'll just have to get going and just deal with it like big people, and then we'll put another layer of, we'll probably have to scrape this stone dust out and then put more stone dust down just to try and counteract the urine solids that are there. So it's still usable, so we'll just get on with it. Yes, Larky and Sizzle do go in and visit, as does Wanda and Penny. So they go in and visit, so that's nice. And no, they did a phenomenal job, and I'm answering Nancy here. They did a phenomenal job getting things out in such a short period of time, because one of the problems with you know, having the animals on site for such a long period of time was that they really couldn't break things down and get moving. It's you know, their hands were kind of tied, so they did a really great job in getting out there and getting things done. So I think they'll probably, thank you, Nick. I think they'll probably be enjoying a break, because it was quite a frenetic final week. So Carlene's surgery, I have no idea what time it is tomorrow, and I think, like very many things, you just sit in a queue until you're ready. But we'll get that sorted as well, and that just moves us all forward. So that's absolutely wonderful. There's a lot of things that we're hoping to do. We're hoping to do them in this is a new word for us, an organised schedule, and yeah. So it's a process. It's an exciting process to start. It's not going to be an instantaneous solution or completion, and you know, nothing ever is. There's always changes to be made and adaptations and lots of other things. Lye does work, yes, but the problem with lye is it's not really very good for your surface environment and the animals, because it's quite caustic. So we need to have this in a done in a way that is healthy for both people and animals. And the thing is, it's actually a stone dust surface, and the tricky problem you have with a stone dust surface is that it does absorb smells. So however well you clean that up, it does absorb smells, and it's a covered area. So it's not like it's getting washed by the rain on a regular basis. It's in a protected area, so there's no surface water that seeps down and drains away and helps to clean it. And with the best will in the world, you couldn't sit and put a sprinkler system on there to wash it out. So it's just, it's one of these things. And I'm pretty sure that when Carlene was here and part of Service Dog, she probably had to scrape out the top surface layer and replace it once the odour built up. And that's just one of these things. We have to be very careful, because not only are we observant of the fact that we have animals who will make full use of the arena and the ICU and other buildings, but we also have people, and we want to use things that don't irritate the animals' feet, people's lungs, the animals' lungs. So we try to do it in the least offensive way possible. And I always say that, animal smell doesn't kill you. Sometimes when it's built up, it's not very pleasant. It's just one of those things. Now, I'm going to try and work out questions. Who were the guests in the morning? So there were several people down here today. Belinda was down helping get the cabin ready for moving. Mardy was down. There was the lady, Michelle, who's moving into the cabin. She came down with a friend as well. And the metal gentleman was here. And the metal gentleman, he works with us. And what happens is, when we gather a whole load of metal that we're no longer using, he comes and picks it up. I presume he sells it. But as far as we're concerned, as long as he's taken it off the property, he's very welcome to do whatever he chooses to do with it. So he came down yesterday. So he started working on a pile of metal yesterday, and he's still going through it today. So that's fine. So that's good. I'm trying to work back this way. Oh my gosh. No, the shipping container is staying. Tracy and I spoke about the shipping container, and it's actually very welcome to stay, because I think we'll probably have to, paint it a different colour so it doesn't stand out quite so much. But we'll just use it for dry storage. It's one of those really difficult things to remove. It would have to be taken out by a flatbed with a crane on it, and it's an expensive thing to move. And sometimes when it's been in situ for a long period of time, I think you find that there's rust spots and it doesn't come out in one go. So that's a tricky thing. So it will stay, and we'll work our way around it at the moment. I suppose we'll just have to find things that we want to put in it. It may be that what we do is we do something similar, that we stockpile our horse feed in a way that we don't ordinarily. We try and keep the minimum amount of food that is not in use in the feed store and not on the property, because that just gives less feed for potentially mice to come into. But also you notice in the summer, some of the feed bags are a woven plastic, and they sweat, and then the contents go mouldy, so it's a bit unpleasant. So we don't have that kind of temperature controlled area, so we just buy what we need as we're going along. So that's I'm not sure what we'll use it for. I'm sure we'll sort it out, but Tracy was good enough to make sure that it is unlocked, so It's not just a big metal container that's going to sit there. It's we will put it into use. I do know that some people, what they do is they put their tractors and their golf carts, etc. They do put them away. But I think that given the nature of Carlene's golf cart, I think she would be very frustrated if we put it away to bed at night time in the shipping container and then she had to get it out. So we would probably spend our time going in and out retrieving the golf cart. So we'll find a use for it. It'll be fine. It'll be like everything else. It will all of a sudden have a super use. So I'm trying to go back these questions. So we don't have a date yet for the new animals and the zebu. No, I think it's I think it's just I think this is laparoscopic, so it's a pretty quick in and out, and I'm not sure what what anesthetic she'll be receiving. Now, so we use PDZ on Meredith, and it really PDZ granules would not cope with that level of smell and the amount of PDZ that you would have, because I've sometimes used a form of lime, because sometimes that helps. We use it in chicken coops, etc. But it would be an extremely expensive job if we were to use PDZ or sweet PDZ in there. So that would be problematic. I'm still trying to scroll down these things. Now, yes, Noodles is definitely Nick's pride and joy. Oh, I tell you, totally spoiled. Oh, and I must say thank you so much to Betty yesterday for dinner, because Janine, Olaf, Nick and I sat down and had dinner in the house, and Noodles sat on Nick's knee. I mean, that's just atrocious. Carlene would be absolutely horrified, as I think everybody else was. Now, okay. Right, now I have to go all the way down to the bottom to see what else I'm missing. Honestly, I thought this iPad thing would work, but it's not. It's a bit tricky. And one of the other things that I know that I am looking forward to is that in the big area in the ICU, that's where our kind of like hub will be. So we'll have the computer in there, we'll have the television, and we use the television so we can watch the auction online, and it means Janine and I can actually sit in the same room, which is quite helpful, because when we sit in the same room, we have our own individual iPad. Well, I have my iPad, she has her laptop. The two don't marry very well because for whatever reason, the laptop is at a different stage in the proceedings as to the iPad. So it's like you've got a very, very bad echo, and it is just impossible. So we sit in separate houses. It's a bit odd, but that's how it works. So it'll be really nice to have an area that you can say to people, you need to go on a waiver, so go into the hub, and everything will be there. And it's I suppose ultimately Goldie's didn't really need any more space, and sometimes you just have to make do with what you end up with. So we've got more space than we were ever anticipating, and the problem with space is you find things to fill it. So we're now going to have an office. We're going to have a dedicated feed room, which I am super excited about. We use the feed room on Meredith extensively. It gives us tremendous options, and I'm very excited to have a dedicated space for the actual feed bins, the buckets with running water. It's a real advantage when you're running a barn. So that will be absolutely wonderful. And now we're all going to have to sit and share a space where we sort of like do things that are more like official. Now Janine won't be able to get away from me. I'll be like, ooh, come to the office, Janine. And so it's good. It's all exciting. It's just going to take a bit of getting used to. And paintbrushes. Now. Right, okay, I'm getting to the questions I haven't looked. Oh, did the contractors drive quickly today? Carla, you send me a text and let me know which contractors you think were a bit fast, because, yeah. Ah, yes. So diatom's really very interesting. And I've used diatom quite extensively over the years because it's very good for chickens and other animals, particularly in their bedding. There's a suggestion now that it actually desiccates lung tissue, which I suppose makes sense, because what it does is it dries out any parasites. So I suppose if you're inhaling it, it's problematic, which is why I've actually come away from using diatom with the chickens. And what I'm now using is Sunday something or other lime, and I've moved away from diatom because I think when it gets airborne, the suggestion now is that it actually can be problematic for your lungs. So if it's problematic for people's lungs, it's not going to be very good for animal lungs. So that's why we're not doing that either. Oh yes, Michelle is moving into the cabin, and Michelle is going to be a tremendous asset. She's an exceptionally knowledgeable lady. She's also an exceptionally pleasant lady, and she's known Carleen and Janine for about 40 years. So she has got extended history. So that's going to be absolutely fantastic. And we're all very greatly looking forward to that. Now, she will be on the farm, but she has her own life, her own business, and she is very keen to help out when she has time, but she does have her own limitations, because she's got to be able to get on with her own life. So she will be here, and I'm quite sure you'll meet her. I'm quite sure she'll come on and do mail chat, which is nice, because it's really nice to do mail chat when you get to meet all the people who are part of Goldie's, and it's not just Janine, Carleen and myself. It's been super that Kate's been able to join us. There's also Pam and Coral, and we have Julie and we have Leslie, and I'm hoping at some point in the future that everybody can come in, so you just get to know who's here, who's doing what, and how we all work together. It's proven to be a really good working team, a very supportive team, and it's a really nice working environment. So that's what we're obviously moving forward with. We hope to have other people join us. We have a lovely lady, Brittany, and she comes and works with Julie and with Leslie. And I'm not sure. I thought Brittany was actually going to be temporary, but she seems to manage to turn up on a regular basis. So I'm going to go and pick her brains, because she's very good with computers, and I am very not good with computers. So I'm going to go and pick her brains to see if she can help me get things moving forward in a smoother fashion. And I can tell you, for the last 3 mornings, Constant Contact has been an absolute pain in the ass. And it's taken me about 20 minutes to post the Daily Doggy onto the Constant Contact. And the first day I phoned Carleen and I said, "What's this line, this purple line on Constant Contact?" She went, "Oh, that's not good." And I'm like, "I know it's not good." I said, "I know that." I said, "How'd you get rid of it?" She went, "Don't know, never managed." So I'm having a fight with Constant Contact. I have no idea why. Blogger is still not working because we still don't have the sign in to some really old email account that Carleen has. So I'm hoping these are all things that we're going to be sort of like moving ahead with and getting ironed out. And I would like to think that if, excuse me, if Brittany can help, that when Carleen comes back to writing the Daily Doggy, that the constant contact will be smoothed out and easy, and it will cause less stress, because I have heard Carleen shouting at the computer because there's been a problem with the Daily Doggy. I'm getting to that stage myself. So if we can eradicate that problem for her, I'm sure she'll be very grateful. Now, what are we up to? Yes, I certainly will remind people to go slower. I'm not sure who they were. Trying to think if I drove down there. I did drive down there, but I went very slowly. I don't know if the big chair's still there. You know, sometimes you drive past things and you don't notice them because your eye's just so used to them being there. No, I don't think it is. That's a good point. No, I don't think it is. The thing that is still here that I was told was going is the teepee. So I'm quite surprised about that. Yeah. I better check in the morning when it's daylight, and I'll let you know, Fugan, whether or not the big chair's still there, because I could have driven past it and ignored it. That's a very good point. Right, okay. Oops. Yes, we've got everything that we should have. We have the large tractor, we have the small trailer, and we have Carleen's golf cart, and that's what we were expecting to be left. So that's super. Yes, it was me, I think, caused the confusion with the key. Tracy gave me the key. She also reprogrammed the doors for me, so that I'm able to get in. But the problem was I couldn't set up. I was fiddling around and having all sorts of trouble downloading the app and then remembering my app password. And then I had to set something up and set something else up. And the door handles actually use an app on your phone. And it wasn't working for me last night, and I was holding them back, and I said, listen, I'll sort this out. So what Tracy did was she programmed a number in and showed me how to work it. So that works for both, and I don't think I shared it with Janine. Probably not. Oops. And then, of course, by the time we got ourselves all organised, I was hoping to stay up till 12, and then I didn't. I fell asleep. And when you fall asleep, nobody can get me moving. Hello.
Hello, darling. I need to go to CVS to get some things for Sophie.
Yes.
And I thought I would do that now.
And then we can go to Meredith.
And then we can go to Meredith.
Okay.
But I don't have a car, and that's the problem.
Did Ava take the car?
She's away to work.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll just be a minute or two.
And the other one's attached to the
trailer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just trying to figure out a way of, I don't know.
Can I just finish this?
I suppose so.
Right, okay. So it was me that caused the problem last night. Nobody else.
What problem was that?
Uh-oh, what's going to be the new building 25? I don't want to know, I don't think. Nope, we're all here. My new year was fantastic. I went to sleep. It's the best kind of new year. I hope everybody else had a super new year. Oh, dear. Yes, it was, and I'm glad Janine and Nick did that. And it was super because Erin sent the ball drop in. So, and I will say, Erin, the instructions were very greatly received. It still took them absolutely ages to get it going, but they did it, and that's all that matters. Yes. So the problem is, the problem with using lime in the arena, lime is obviously a powder, and with the amount that you would need, because remember the stone dust, there's a layer of stone dust, and the lime will sit on the top. But what you have to do is you have to sort of like rotate it into the top. Because the urine sinks down, you're going to have a tremendous amount of lime, and then when lime gets wet, it gets pasty. So it's just a situation where you need to strip out and start all over again, because otherwise we're going to end up with a sort of cakey, muddy, sticky mess, and we don't need that. So so we'll start again, but in the interim we'll just use ventilation and get on with it. Yes. Thank you, Joe. I am switching around medication because I've had an allergic reaction. And I tell you, it's really funny. I know I had an allergic reaction because I started about 3 weeks ago with very big feet, followed by very big ankles, followed by very big knees, followed by fingers that won't bend and eyelids, as you can see, that don't open. And I went to the doctor, and he said, "How are we getting on?" I said, "Not very well." I said, "I'm like the Stay Puffed person." Is it? And he said, "Let's look at your feet." And he went, "Yeah," he said, "they're really fat." So I said, yes. I said, I need to get rid of this, because when your knees don't bend at the end of the day, I said, it's really problematic. So I've got nerve ending problems in my fingers, and so my fingers don't work. So trying to get I'm a wreck. So trying to get my barn shoes on and off is a very interesting prospect, and it may be the sign of things to come, but I don't think Nick thought he was going to have to be tying my shoes on and off. So I'm hoping that with a change of medication, I think the other shock was I never stand on a scale. I said, I don't need that kind of positive affirmation in the morning to stand on a scale and tell me how much I'm weighing. And I made the mistake of standing on the scale about a week ago, and I couldn't understand how I'd managed to put on over 20 pounds. And I was like, this is really not very good. I said, because I've not really changed any eating habits apart from actually trying to improve them. And I stood on the scale and I thought, oh, these are depressing little things. Better go and change the battery. And a change of battery did not make them more agreeable, I might add. So I said to the doctor, I said, I've put on about 20 pounds. And I said, and I've been the same weight for years. And he said, yeah, I think it's probably the water. I'm hoping it's the water. And he said, so what they've had to do is they've had to give me, because it's affecting my kidneys and my hands and the rest of my body, and I don't bend. I'm surprised I don't squelch. So he said to me, so we're going to have to get rid of this water, but we're going to have to do it quickly. I went, great. I said, are you just going to prick a hole in my ankle and it'll all come out? And he went, no, a bit more scientific. He said, we're going to have to give you heavy-duty diuretics for 5 days. And I thought, you know what? This is an absolute nightmare. So they've given me heavy-duty diuretics and a change of medication. So it's that's another challenge in life, shall we say. So I'm hoping that works kind of quickly, because I really don't have time for this. Anyway, so all good in getting there. But thank you for asking. Yeah, Nick just loves that Noodles. And the other dogs are just fine. No, they're actually, the dogs are super. They just go down the back of the house, and they all wrestle down there, and then they come in, and then they go back out again. And they're having a great time. They really love snow. So that's always nice. Yes, so Carlene does have her own project room, and it's Kennel 9 and 10, and there's been who's been setting that up? I think between Mardy and between Belinda, they've got it cleaned. The walls are all cleaned, the floors are all cleaned, and it's ready just to start taking her stuff down into there. So that's going to be a nice, easy transfer. and I think the majority of that stuff is actually sitting in that trailer. So that's outside the cabin. So it will just take a little wander down the hill. I don't think Uncle Bud was around this morning. I'm thinking he's coming at the weekend. Yes, Meredith is actually purely for... We use it for our rescues, our rescue horses and our quarantine. So Meredith runs slightly differently to Goldie's farm, and it's not public, so there won't be anybody visiting. So anybody visiting Goldie's will obviously come to here, and Meredith will just be maintained in the way that it always has been. So it has the animals that are in rehabilitation. It has the animals, some of them are in long-term sanctuary. Other animals we know probably won't be with us for too much longer, and they get a very dedicated, consistent care from 5 people in total. And there are also 2 phenomenal people who live on the farm who also spend a lot of time with input to the animals. So the animals that are over there are probably more part of the whole rescue aspect as opposed to the sanctuary animals that we have on here. So, and we also do our quarantine over there. So that's what Meredith does, and it runs differently to here. No, the Explore cameras are away. And I think it was just something as simple as unplugging them. So there's absolutely no cameras here. So that's super. So that's probably made for an easy transfer. No, that's not Michelle. I'm not sure who that was. There's 2. So I think Belinda and Mardy both have grey cars. So there you go. It could be one or t'other. I have no idea where Carly and Mike have gone. Mike, I see on the farm on almost daily basis. I haven't seen Carly for a number of days, so I really am not very sure just what's going on with that.
Can I ask you another question, darling?
I don't know.
Or do I have to send it in on MailChat?
Send it in MailChat.
Are we going to have to tow that barrow tonight?
Oh, yeah, we will. I'll maybe take the truck.
Yeah,
I'll ask Janine about the truck.
Can I drive the truck?
Well, why don't you go over and ask Janine? She's nice. Honestly, interrupting MailChat for questions I can't answer. Yeah, so I really don't know, because as Wendy has said, they no longer work for Goldie's. They just live on Goldie's. Oh, right. Oh, there you go. It was Belinda in the grey car. Yeah, I don't mind doing a weekly update. I could do a daily donkey. There you go. To distinguish between the daily doggy. Well, you see, the problem is, Fernanda, they maybe didn't take the big chair. It's just that I didn't notice whether it was there or not. So I don't want to start a rumour or cause any trouble. The big chair might be there, it might not be there though. But I'll let you know tomorrow. At this precise moment in time, you know, as far as we're aware, because we haven't been told otherwise, the apartment is going to stay as it is, you know, with either Mike or Carly. And I certainly don't know one way or the other. But, you know, if we know, we'll definitely let you know. I think actually the issue with the TP, and it's the same issue, well, it wasn't actually an issue to have that that mural thing removed. But the reason they were taking the teepee was whoever donated it wanted it back. It wasn't it wasn't part of, it was something that was, the mural, the person, I thought it was school children did it. But I think it was a single entity. Whoever did the mural wanted it back, didn't want it to stay with the farm. And the same thing with the teepee. It must have been an individual then that donated the teepee, and they wanted the teepee back. For whatever reason, it was left. So I'm not sure. I'm not privy to why that happened. So there's no cameras here at all. There's two wheeled ladders. One's taller than the other. I'm not sure if that was part of what Janine put out for the metal man to take. I'll maybe have to go down. I've missed the auction was very important today, and now I've missed daylight hours, okay? So that's what happened. We got caught up in the auction because you watch the auction preview, and then you have to watch the auction, and the donkeys come through first, and then the horses come through later. And then the problem with it is you don't know when the horses are coming through because they don't come through in order, so it's a total mess. So I've totally missed daylight hours. I will try harder tomorrow, and it will be drier tomorrow, and we'll go and do a walk around. I'll grab Janine with me if she's not out on a job, and we'll go and have a look at things, and then that will maybe answer a lot of questions that I don't obviously have the answer for. No, Carly and Mike don't work here. They haven't for quite some time now. Right. Yes, I think earlier on I was talking about the arena. No. It is very irritating having reactions to medications. I'm just coming to this conclusion in life now. No, your food was very much appreciated, and honestly, I'm not sure that anybody had any time to be cooking yesterday, Betty. It was chaos. So thank you, we appreciated it. So that's the problem. My dogs are not familiar with the Danes, and the Danes are not familiar with my dogs. So that's why we try and keep them separate. I'll do videos of them when they're out and about creating merry hell by themselves. Yes, the Veterans Programme is still on. Pam and Coral are very much involved in that. We've got, and they would probably be better to speak about this, we do have something that we're doing with the veterans in, oh gosh, I'm not sure when it's coming up. I know it's coming up quite soon, but we're not doing it on the property. We're doing it in, I think, Legion buildings. The reason we're not doing it on property is because this farm is no drinking and no smoking. And it's a barn. There's lots of dry hay. There's dry sawdust. And that's very often the policy on a farm, no drinking and no smoking on the property. And that's something that was prohibitive to certain occasions happening here. So the animals will be going off property to go and facilitate that. So that's good. Are you coming back to ask me more questions?
Well, no, she said I can't take the truck.
Can I take the truck?
You can take the truck, I can't take the truck.
Does that mean I'm going to have to chauffeur you?
I'm trucked.
You're trucked.
Yeah, I'm totally trucked.
I knew that.
Yeah, you're going to have to drive me. And we haven't got dog food either.
Is it still in the other car?
Uh-huh.
Where's Ava?
She's at work.
Right, okay. Could we just... Okay.
It's getting late and I need to get the stuff from CVS for...
Right, okay. You're such a nag at times. Such a nag. I have a question. Now that some fences are down out of... The dogs be able to explore even further. Yes, but we don't want the dogs to be able to explore even further. When the dogs are out, the dogs will be out, and there'll be people with them. So when Janine goes up and down to the barn, she knows that my dogs are all inside. Carly had 2 dogs on here. I'm not sure if they're still here. Although the dogs can explore, there's still the opportunity for them to see a deer and take off after the deer. So that's not something that we want or is particularly beneficial for the dogs. So yes, but they're going to have a totally different space because they'll be down in Honeymoon Hill. So they can go in and out at ease, and it will be a different living environment. And I'm quite sure, let's face it, when Carleen comes here, she is just going to open the door to the laundry building and let them out. So we'll take that as it comes. Yeah, the difficulty is with Carleen being in the facility that she's in, she doesn't have access. She herself can't let Larky or Sizzle outside to the bathroom and then pick up after them. So you would actually be asking the rehab staff to do that, and that's not appropriate. So that's why we take the dogs down, and they go down nearly on a daily basis. So that's what we're working with. Rightio. I don't know, maybe the TP was purchased from donations from the Fun Fund. I really don't know. Yes, the pink pig is still here. Still looking very pink. Can't miss it. Yes, I would agree with that, Judy. Right. Okay. So I am going to go because I need to drive my husband to CVS. Then I need to go and find dog food because it's in our car, which is with Ava. And then we're going to go and do evening chores on Meredith. So we'll get ourselves in a better position tomorrow, and then we can all go and tour the farm together. And hope it's not raining. So have a really lovely evening, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.